All right, what's up, guys? How's everyone feeling? Hope we're doing fantastic. Happy Thursday, CPI. We got New York Open. We're gonna look at indices, metals, majors, the whole nine. So let's dive in here. Let's get a good session in. Yeah, let's have a good time. Okay, let me start screen sharing, and we're off. All right. So first and foremost, I'm looking at possible plays here with metals. We see a nice little liquidity sweep here during London session yesterday, and then we kind of just chop up, leave some liquidity before rallying. We came back down into here a little bit earlier, about an hour ago, popped up, came back down again, another rejection. It just looks like we're mitigating these order blocks, and we still have this liquidity. So I'm curious to see how we get CPI to open and if that's going to trigger any ideas down over here. This is more so where I'm looking for an entry right around here. And then on top of that, though, something else that I'm keeping in mind as we're looking at possible ideas over here is just taking a look at silver and seeing its price action. Silver's still relatively bearish. Looks like it wants to go further down after had a nice little liquidity sweep here. The market tried to make higher highs but failed to. And then I think this could go for Tokyo lows again. And that might set up this gold trade that I'm looking at over here. So this has some potential. I won't necessarily go for too much in this idea. I think just going to take it towards these equal highs over here. So, yeah, this is kind of the idea I'm looking at right now. It should be right over here. The stop would be over here. Let's push this a little bit lower. And then this is where we've seen some support before. We have CPI here in just a few minutes. So something like this looks solid. Oh, you know what? I'm happy with this one. I wanted this, guys, yesterday's shakeout with the euro. It played out beautifully. If you remember correctly, it's rejecting super nice. I just missed it by like 2 minutes. I wasn't able to squeeze in there, but I'll dive into that. The pound also might give us an opportunity here with this last push down that it got. So we'll get into that stuff here in a second. But this is more so what I'm looking at. With gold, the only downside is it does sweep the liquidity. It breaks above, but it doesn't give us higher highs here. Not that it creates a lot of demand. So I'm not in love with this idea. I'm going to go 250 risk instead of a signature. My bad. Like instead of what I typically would do, which would be a $500 risk. Specifically because we do break above structure on the small time frame, but not the bigger idea. So I am going to go just a little over a half an hour here in this situation. So CFCPI, obviously, guys, CPI can be very volatile. So make sure you have everything lined up the way you would truly want it to be. Your risk is on point. All right. Just double checking my trade copier over here. And all right, everything looks good. Yes. Time limit. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, we have that there. And then same thing, keeping in mind that silver could push below those Tokyo lows, maybe even go below those New York lows. So we'll see what happens there. I was looking at possibilities with other ideas, but at the end of the day, I think gold is kind of the one that's nearest to doing anything. As I'm looking at indices, I'm not really looking to buy anything quite yet. No, nothing near. The markets continue to create bearish structure over here. So let's go over here. Damn. Gold left without us. Goodbye, gold. There she goes. So gold decided to rally first to push higher rather than to go and clear out the lows that I wanted to see. So this has officially, we can see the movement here. This, I would consider it's mitigated. It played out of this choppiness and then cleared out all of this movement. So I'm going to go ahead and delete my limit over here on gold. Meanwhile, indices are starting to recover, right? Work their way back to rebalance yesterday's drop. So there's a couple key areas I want to look at here with indices. A couple key zones. So first, let's focus on NASDAQ. Right now, we saw NASDAQ break below the previous low. We didn't take any buys yesterday. We stayed out of the market over here. And so the market's only kept working its way down. It broke below this low. We have the market trading down here for well over 16 hours before it starts to rally. So this is definitely a bearish structure. The demand was solid. Everything looks good. And then we see a setup like this. Currently, the market just pulled back 50%, where I could see NQ start to give us some reversals. There's kind of two key zones, right? There's clearly the order block within this massive imbalance. So there's definitely a chance that, you can see the market kind of reject this area specifically. So you have opportunity of a rejection here. Now, this is just an order block within an imbalance, not a signature setup, not an A+ setup. You'll see reversals out of here every once in a while, for sure. I typically like to have extra confirmations if I'm ever going to take some sort of position there. So you see the same thing with S&P, basically. Very, very similar. And then you have Dow Jones. Dow Jones, on the other hand, of course, bearish just like NASDAQ. However, this New York high that we got here with yesterday's 9 a.m. candle, right there, we could see that Dow is actually starting to reverse a little bit faster. It at least pushed up very, very quickly, traded into this order block before falling into where we saw the market kind of pick up some momentum. So sells out of Dow are also very much possible. I just want us to take a look at how these are moving compared to one another. So you have the high here at the 9 a.m. Central Time. So 30 minutes after New York Open, you have the high. Right now, the market's sitting right under 50% for Dow Jones. S&P also right under 50% for NQ. So what's it going to be? Now, what would it take for me to take a sell in this order block here? One, NASDAQ would have to be moving upwards very slowly compared to something like Dow, which doesn't seem like is the case. I'm more so focused on trading out of, because this move here, this order block is the same as Dow's high up here. So this happens at the exact same time. So NASDAQ starts to drop earlier in the day yesterday. So it makes its high during in between London, New York overlap. We make one more push higher and then everything kind of starts to drop. So if you notice, if we just compare where both of these start to sell from, which is right here, So even just this entire move, then you can see NASDAQ is reversing faster. From the exact same timing, NASDAQ is reverse 618 while Dow Jones has less than a 50% pullback, if we're just going to look at it from the timing of these things. So, looking at structure, let's just kind of see how the market approaches these areas. I doubt that I'll take anything in this order block. I'm going to keep my eyes out on just how indices are moving on up, at what kind of pace we're doing all this, and then see if we can have a trade. That's for potential sells. Now we can look at the other way, which is, are there buy opportunities here? And right now, for example, you can see Dow is working its way down a little bit more quickly. It just swept some of this liquidity from New York session, took out Tokyo highs, London highs. So now it's losing momentum actually really, really fast. Could Dow set up for a shakeout? Are we going to see this is crashing? Does this build up some sideways liquidity, build up some buyers, and then do we get our signature drop back down to here? This is possible. Let's let the market print. Let the market show us more of the signs. Is it going to do something like this, or are we just going to kind of rebound and just go back up pretty fast? So what we need in order to take a short like this, right, we need it to settle down over here, lure in retail buyers, create some more support, and then see it really entice the buyers before it turns around. So we want to just kind of keep an eye out on that, see if that happens or not. Regarding the potential, let's say, buys, well, let's take a look at what really happened here. So yesterday, we get New York lows towards the end of the day. We basically chop up a whole bunch, virtually creating liquidity here. So I didn't really have like quality buys with NASDAQ. We then see another push down to sweep some liquidity before the market rallied some more. Here before the CPI, we do get a push down with NQ, but we are trading so close to previous lows here that I just feel like there's nothing truly worth taking with NASDAQ over here. Just a lot of liquidity. I'd rather just wait and get something better. Dow here, same thing. You see a sweep, so Dow does take out the lows. Then it actually moves sideways for hours on hours, 5-6 hours, and then it just slowly works its way higher. So same thing goes here. Like, I just don't like anything over here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a push down here, like cool. During London, it pushes down, but this just does the same thing. If I'm going to be risking any of my money, like, I want quality, clear setups, and it's just not really giving us that right now. So buys on indices, in my opinion, are a bit riskier. And risky, obviously, we apply the risk, but so the right way would be they're just less probable. I think there's a less chance that these things play out. So let's see how this continues to work its way up. We have this move over here, which was right before, 25 minutes after New York open, we get a nice pump and then everything drops. So will Dow give us a good short up here? Let's place an alert. We have New York open here in about, 40 minutes, 50 minutes? Yeah. So we'll wait. I'm assuming the fun will really start to happen around then. We're starting to see the rebalance of structure coming up pretty quickly. So I wonder what we look like here. I really don't think I'm gonna end up taking any positions with NQ, this like order block over here. Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen. Okay. Look how quickly we're working our way up to here. It's happening very quick. From this like 9 a.m. Central Time, this 30 minutes after New York Open, we're already almost pulled back 786, whereas Dow is to the same thing. It's not even at a 618 pullback. So Dow is definitely moving much slower. Again, I deleted my orders on metals. I wanted to see gold pushed a little lower before triggering us in, and that did not happen. Now looking at these other ideas, man, this one kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted buys here with euro. We had the mitigation set up, and yeah, I just got like I was here, but I was setting things up for the stream, and I didn't pull the trigger. And I actually would have had a better entry. It was like down here, so this trade would be nuts right now. But that's okay. So. Is there something else, right? Did CPI maybe set up New York Open? Do we have anything else that we could be, looking for here? So, got caught left holding the bag today. Euro played out nicely, and then you had the pound as well. The pound didn't quite get down to here, so I would have missed this one. But this was the shakeout we were looking for. The huge imbalance. This comes back in to lure in break and retest sellers, and then this comes right back down to here. Now once enough sellers are lured in, then we saw the market completely flip direction again. And unlike the euro, the pound is moving very bullish. We saw it actually break above New York highs, everything, and it's still trading above here. So pound is actually holding its structure really well, and there's a good chance that we get some buying opportunities. I don't know if it's going to happen today. Maybe. But now that we're breaking above, especially if we maintain structure, there might be a decent opportunity for buys over here. Let me zoom out for you guys too over here. Because this definitely, pushes down to liquidate buyers over here. Comes right back up, slowly works its way down. So we clearly saw this was just to entice sellers, and then back up we go. So we definitely are seeing more demand for the bulls than the bears over here. And in terms of an entry, yeah, I like setups around here. But this is definitely going to be based on how the market continues to trade over here. So we'll keep an eye out on this. Okay. Dow about a 618 pullback. And then now NASDAQ finally got into this order block within this imbalance. So I'm not deciding to take any sells or anything yet. I'm just going to let the market keep pushing. There's a lot of imbalance left over here. I feel like indices just have more room to go higher, so I'm not going to get in the way of that quite yet. But before I keep, just yapping over here, let me go ahead here and just check in with you guys. What's up, Caius? Hope you're able to participate today. What's up, Greg? Buen dia. Ramiro, what's good? Ibraneth, happy CPI day. What's up, Seth? Morning, Harshi. What up, Kevin? We got K Block. Sen, what's good? Puccini. Igle, buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Por dónde estás en el mundo? What's up, Brandon? Yo. Let's get it. I had the same GBP markup, but didn't quite get down there. It'd be like that sometimes. My bias is shakeout. For which one, Yamane? clear the liquidity and mitigated the bigger push up while also leaving tons of liquidity for TP targets. Which one are you talking about? Was close to hitting TP on 6E, still in there. Oh, really? So, okay, you did take it. Sick. Who took the euro? I know I sent it out yesterday. Who did take euro? Where was your target? Were you trading up to here? I mean, this just cleared out Tokyo highs. Not quite trading above New York highs yet. It might. It still could, for sure. I would have my take profit up here. And that's a great risk reward, nonetheless. And then stop loss wise, honestly, I would take some. I would move up some stops. Like, I don't know. We already saw a nice pullback into structure. I would at least kind of maybe play into here. Pay yourself something if it does decide to turn all the way around. Yeah, I'm not in euro either, sadly. Gonzaga, you got it. Nice. Jonathan got it. Shout out to Jonathan. He was the winner of the giveaway. Let's go. Secured a 1R. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Things are slowing down, friendies. This is the calm before the storm. All right. So let's take a quick look at these majors. Let's reevaluate what's going on over here. We talked about how Australian had created a nice push all the way up to here before dropping down and really making lower lows, creating bearish structure. Like, it really did push its way down really well. I feel like we can continue to work our way down here with Australian. Like, we broke below. We traded down here for just about 20 hours or so, and we're finally getting a pullback. So seeing euro sell up here could definitely have a very, very possible. And it's trading much slower than, it's working its way up a lot slower than the NZD, than euro, than CAD, than pound for sure, and Swiss. So DeAndre, you asked a good question. You said, hey, could the yen be setting up for a shakeout setup? And I'm with you. I think it's very much possible. So look at how the yen just cleared out tons of liquidity. And so right here you see, and we can turn this on right there. You see how it takes out Tokyo highs, New York highs, and trades into this imbalance. Perfect. From here, now it's been 15 minutes since CPI. From here, just to give you more, right, what happens is we crash all the way down, and then we've been moving sideways. We've just kind of been chopping up slowly for the last 17, 18 minutes. So right now, what the market's doing is, at least for a lot of small time frame traders, they see the break above, and people assume that means it's bullish now. Or I don't think that's the case. I think this is solely a liquidity capture. So this eliminates retail sellers. This activates buy stop orders. So we have tons of liquidity here triggered. Obviously, that causes a massive turnaround. And then here, we're just slowly working our way back up. Slowly. Very, very slowly. To our collected on euro. Let's go, Friso. Let's go, my boy. That's the Tradetopia life right there. Yes, sir. So from here, if we slowly work our way up a little longer, I can definitely see some good selling happening. Whether it's up here at near the Tokyo highs or near the New York highs. So it could go either way. Obviously, taking sells near these New York highs have a much better risk reward, and I would definitely prefer that. So, taking a look at what the market's doing over here, I also want to point out that the lows that that the yen made over here This gets us pretty close to the lows we've seen before. So I do think we can get reversals and shorts out of here. We've seen constant reversals out of 006488 over here in this zone. So I'm open to selling. And let's set it up. Let's set it up over here. So on this screen here is where I have the trade copier set up. So right here, I'm gonna take it, I think, like right there. And then take profit. At least to just kind of fill maybe this back over to here. We don't even need to get such a crazy drop. 2.5 hours is cool. Before I commit to this, I just want to do one more quick turnaround here. We see the market come down, chop up slowly for some time, and then now it's making that push. Compare this to other things. Looks like the pound's is pushing further, faster. Everything else is. And the yen is slower on the way up. So I do think we have a good chance at doing this. Looking at how sideways this moved. I guess if it would have stayed lower, it would have been better for longer. But not a bad play anyway. So I'm going to go about 0.75 R here. I'm going to take a swing at this. I'm going to set the limit up. Order rejected. What you mean? Order rejected. Who didn't take the order? Okay. There's margin on the top. Why is this one struggling? Let's see. Top step. So here's the difference in margin requirements and based off of balance and all that good stuff. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to do these myself. With top step, I've noticed that the yen it takes up a bit more margin, so I typically have to actually under leverage a little bit with top step with yen for some reason. So I went 0.75 R on this idea, and then let's see what this looks like. Right, if we get triggered in, and then we get a good reversal, we'll start adjusting accordingly. I'm not. Thank you. Huh? You water? Yeah, I'll take some water. Thanks. So first area where it could reverse is right here. So this might just stall here and then turn around. Totally possible. I don't like the risk reward from over here though, so I'm not interested in really taking it. I'd prefer shorting a little bit higher, get a better RR, have a better chance of moving stops to break even and all that good stuff faster. So gonna keep that in mind there. All right, so the order block, it looks like it's kind of holding here. Dow, reversing off of right around the structure point. Nothing really matters there. I'm just going to keep letting the retracement happen, letting the market do its thing. The yen is starting to give its first sign of a reversal. Doesn't mean that it's going to completely leave without us or anything. But, it's just what it's doing. The fact that we kind of chop up here and then now we're kind of making a move like this is kind of creating another trend line. So, yeah, ideally, honestly, I would love for it to go even higher and then we can just kind of break through all of this to lock in some good trading over here. And what we can do too is just to have a good idea is, okay, how are the rest of the majors moving? So take a look at The pound is breaking above again. You have everything starting to just crack through. Euro took out New York highs. This is where I said I think there was a good idea for the market to reverse here. And the fact that actually now Euro took out New York highs, we might start to see the reversal now, actually. Australian just took out New York highs. Ooh, we really might get the yen dropping from here and not work its way over. Because now it liquidated like a key session liquidity. So we really might get the yen to drop right out of these Tokyo highs. Let's see. If that was the case, then, you know, our entry would have been like, let's say here. The market really would have had to keep pushing, honestly, break below London lows to really be worth it at all. So not my favorite. Right now, what we might be just doing is we might just be chopping up and down. Maybe this wants to build up more buyers, and then we get one more leg up before reversal. But the only reason I didn't take a sell here is just because of the risk to reward. It would need to travel twice as much for me to be able to do anything here. So let's see. Right now, we wait. I don't know why it logged me out there. All right. So while the yen is doing this, let's go take a look at metals again. Wow, these are just continuing to go. What a move, man. What a move. Took out London highs, took out Tokyo highs. And from here, do we have any other entries here now? So is there another opportunity to do anything? And honestly, I'm kind of staying put here for gold. I have this marked up from a while back, right? We've talked about this quite a bit, where gold can play out of the all-time highs we saw here around 44,400, and it's built up a lot of liquidity, guys. A lot of liquidity here. So there's tons of sellers. Today could be the day that it clears all of this and we could get a reversal. I would love for silver to kind of start ripping more aggressively and be more of the bull. So let's kind of see what happens. Get silver to break above its all-time high as well. Let's see if silver continues to rally really, really aggressively. As of right now, gold has more momentum. So we'll see. And then speaking about gold here, we saw with CPI, before CPI, we break below and then we rally. So do we have the opportunity to maybe buy gold over here? And this is going to be heavily based on how well structure continues here. Okay, so yen, unfortunately, still deciding to drop some more. If it breaks this low, then I'm deleting the order. Okay. All right. How are you guys approaching this so far? Do you like the yen as a play? Are you still like, man, staying out? Was close to hitting. Okay, I'm sure you TP'd now. Awesome. Just hit a nice 1-2 on euro. 6J. So 6J is yen futures. If you're looking at USD JPY, it would be the opposite. So I was looking to sell 6J. If you were looking to trade USD JPY, you'd be looking for a buy. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So 30 minutes out from New York Open. Go ahead, tag someone, let them know we're live. Drop it on your stories. This is definitely the calm before the storm. For sure. For sure, for sure. I was looking at shorting silver, but my stop would be where London and Tokyo highs are, so I'm staying out of it. Shorting silver. Where are you looking to short silver? Oh, right here? So London high is made, and then you break below on the 5 minute. You trade pretty well here on the 5 minute. And then, okay. I see it. I mean, it's counter trend, but I definitely see it. The market right now has been bullish. There is a lot of imbalance down here, so there's definitely motive for it to go lower. Then you have the market break. So here you have the one last push of liquidity. Let's narrow this down to where this starts to kick off here. All right, so you're looking at this. A lot of resistance. And then basically like right around here is where I feel like everything starts to take out liquidity. So like right there. Clears out sellers, retail sellers here and here. So two types of liquidity, here and here. You get the drop. It breaks below this low. You trade below here for some time. 5 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours. It does break below here, and then right now, once it fills the imbalance, this rallies. Okay. From here, it breaks above, and it's kind of just chopping up and down. So really, it's a matter of whether you think that it's going to hold this up, which it could. And then how does gold moving? Gold they're pretty similar. Like gold and silver are moving really similarly together right now. We saw gold already took out Tokyo highs though, and London highs. So gold already did all that. Silver is lagging behind. I don't think it's a bad trade. I don't think it's a terrible trade. I think if you're concerned because of just the market's more bullish, then risk less with this. Approach it with less risk. So let's say we were going to take silver. Let's see if I know I can't trade silver with micros or the micro silver. So let's say we were going to take a trade here. What would this look like? It just got right under it and it rejected right now. So let's say you're going to take it like here. I don't even know if I can get one sell in. A contract in. Yeah, trading silver is just so heavy. Only way it would work is if I think the stop would have to be like cut in half for it to even be anything here. Nah. Honestly, it looks like it just came in, took this out, and then dropped. So it might have just gone down right now. Look at that. Cleared it, and then just instant reversals. Wild. All right. The yen. RIP. Puedes mostrar la configuración que tienes en el indicador que marcas los altos y bajos de London, Nueva York. Yeah. So here is this is just indicator. Seth put me onto this one just for the sessions, where the session highs and lows are. These are the settings if you want them. That at least how I have them. Let's see. Aquí lo tienes si quieres tomar una foto. So the colors. It shows the session labels. This is what you want to turn on here. You want this to show. And then that's about it. I don't think I changed anything else. Entonces solo presiona esto para que te salgan los nombres. And then I changed the color of the session label too. I think I changed this to black. I think it was white originally. So here, going back to silver, if it goes up here again, I think it could be valid. I would treat it with less risk. Only way I think I can take this even for a contract is if, and follow my risk, is if it gets a really deep retracement. So I'll be mindful of that. All right. The yen is back. Let's go. So we dropped a bit, coming back up. Looks like now it's breaking above here. So can we get triggered in? The yen is very much moving a lot more slowly than the rest of the majors. So if you look at, for example, the pound still going higher, the euro took out the highs and now kind of slowing down. So honestly, it's kind of looking like, funny enough, could we have the dollar pairs making shakeout setups as well? Like, for example, here, euro took out New York high and then instantly dropped back down. So it took out the high here about 14 minutes ago and then instantly came back down, and it's kind of starting to chop up. So will we have possible reversals with dollar pairs here? I think it's very much possible. So yen playing up again over to here. I'm not quite in there yet. One thing, if you guys are like, you know what, I'm willing to go half risk, then hey, do your thing. Do your thing. I'm going to hold it out. I'm going to thug it out over here. Stay patient. Just for the sake of the risk reward. All right. Getting back into indices, and Q looks like it's about to break above the previous bearish candle that it made here. Nasdaq still with a bit stronger of a bullish reversal compared to Dow. It looks like Nasdaq's pushing up a bit more aggressively. So sells today just might be with Dow. But we'll keep our eyes peeled here. Yeah, silver's starting to make that drop. It looks like we're getting that reversal out of that zone here. We're really not too far from an entry here with the yen. Okay, keep that in mind. So let's get clarity here with silver. Silver basically just missed the zone that I had marked up. It's pretty close though, so I'll take that with a grain of salt. And then when it dropped, though, I wouldn't say it has mitigated yet. It actually should have dropped a bit further if it was going to make the move. ¿Qué tal, Florida? So let's see. And how does this compare with gold right now? Okay, gold looking to go higher again. Okay. Yeah, so if this gets a very deep retracement, then I'm open to it. And we'll see what this looks like with everything else. All right, yen's not too far. Just a few ticks away now. Let's go. We'll get a chance at this. All right, NASDAQ breaking above now. Finally, you can see how NASDAQ has more bullish momentum since it already broke above that bearish move. So this definitely enticed sellers. Once it started to reverse here, this lured in sellers, and then off it goes again. Meanwhile, Dow still hasn't broken above this. So you can tell Dow Jones moving up slowly. By the time it works its way up to where we had this big push up before the reversal, it seems like NQ will be also pretty far along in its retracement. All right, guys, we're just like nothing away from this now. All right, here we go. It looks like we're about to be triggered in. And, okay, now silver's made its move. All right, cool. All right. Oh, is it going to miss us by 0.00005? No fucking way, man. Are you serious? Look at me. Really? What is this? What is this trash, man? Hey, somebody's got to make a call. Yo, Yamane. Call your boys. Call your boys, man. I need the yen to do its thing. Come on now. Yen looks different on CFDs. Yeah, it's the opposite. It's totally flipped. All right. I think Yamane might have made a call here. Let's see. We need a little assistance today, you know? All right, silver, great rejection. Sadly, we weren't invited to that party. USDJ is really far away. It also probably is because of the rollover in contracts. So since the contracts rolled over, things are going to start to change. With CFDs, you don't have that rollover or anything, so they're kind of just averaged out. This is some bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now. This here is crazy work. We need Mission Impossible music. I can't say if it's worth taking or not. I don't know what your stop would look like. I don't know what anything would look like. So, let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it did, huh? See, this way CFDs, man, kind of suck. So this is just borderline still making these lows. I don't know, honestly. Well, the thing is, one, it didn't trigger me in, so I'm not in yet. And two, let's see, is this worth the risk to reward if we get in closer to where we are now? Like, let's say we got in a position here. Would it be worth it? Well, now it's dropping too far. I'd be more interested in something over maybe here or something. Go like half. They're like 2 contracts at it here in case it wants to get us in, and then we can take another half over here, because now we basically got the zone that we wanted, like right around here, and it started to reject. Any NQ or US 30 setups? Yeah, so possibly shorting NASDAQ up here or shorting Dow closer to this range, like 48,670-ish. I'm not totally against taking half a position here, like taking 2 contracts, and then if it comes up again, I'll take another 2. Let's do that. Could it totally trigger us in? For sure. For sure. It could definitely do that still. So the stop is 0, 0. These stops are just wild. 0, 0, 6, 4, 9, 40. All right, so I'm going to take 2 contracts here, and then if it does go back to where we wanted it to, then I'll take another 2. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Why are you sharing, though? Why are you yapping over here? All right, so we're in on 2. I'm going to delete this limit here, or can I change this? Yeah, and I'll make this another 2. Confirm. Okay. Order field. All right, which account was that from? That might be a Top Step. Enable. Okay, there we go. Cool. And then where am I targeting? I'm going to target the London lows. Let's see if it triggers us in over here. Right now, I'm in at basically with half risk with this idea. If it does come back up and trigger us in, as you can see, I lowered my contract size here. Since I got in a little bit lower, then what I did was I actually reduced my risk a little bit to trade out of here. Yeah. But I realized I was under leveraging this trade before, just due to like how the market was moving compared to everything else. And kind of deciding if I want to keep it reduced, like less risk, or if I want to go and use a full R on this trade. I think I'm gonna just keep it how it is right now. Yeah, I'm cool with that. All right, so we're basically right around entry. I'm using half the risk that I wanted to use so far. And we'll see how it goes. So, okay. Now, indices, we're seeing it slowly, right? We're 12 minutes away from New York Open. We're seeing it slowly work its way up. Dow Jones moving less aggressively to the upside than NQ is. What I want to do, and so the reason I have the fib marked up here with NQ is this is just where it all started. Like, if you look at Dow's New York high and the peak is up here, and this is at 30 minutes after New York Open, and then it crashes. So within this specific range, it's almost at a 618 pullback. Whereas with NQ, this is, although the high of this structure is up here, this is where the market started to drop. So since that time, NQ's reversed a bit more quickly. So I wonder if these end up kind of aligning later on. Are you taking yen or not really? Babe, are you shorting the yen or no? Okay. Let's see here. All right. up a little bit. Up a little bit on our, so this is us adapting, right? Adapting to what the market was showing us. We originally saw, okay, we wanted to short where we've seen a lot of resistance, a lot of, last point of supply over here. And so the market got there. It was literally half, I don't even know what is this, a tick or something? A tick shy of triggering us in. Once we started to lose that momentum, as you see it happen here, then at that point, that's what my mindset is, okay, we clearly, we at least are seeing that momentum shift. Let us get into something here. It would still be worth it, in my opinion. So, for example, this is the trade now, and then I'm targeting the London lows. So trading down to here would be still almost a 3R from this point. So, all right, cool. Like, worth something. And then, there's always a chance that it could trigger us in. So I left that as a possibility. So I kept that over there. And then if it does trigger us in, then we're averaged in somewhere like right here. And the risk reward gets better anyways. So for a quick recap for everybody that maybe came in a little bit later on, for buys, everything was consolidating, and honestly, I just don't see great setups within this zone due to liquidity, whether it's NASDAQ or it's Dow. A lot of sideways movement, a lot of liquidity, so I don't love any buys. Unfortunately, here, what has my attention are the sells, whether it's up over here or if it's going to be with NQ. One thing that I'm noticing that's kind of unfortunate here for the yen, but the yen, kind of does its own thing, but we're seeing the dollar pairs drop. Like, we are seeing them lose momentum, especially the euro. Euro did the thing. Euro took out the highs, chopped up a little bit. I wouldn't say we even had a chance at taking anything here. Came down, and then but it's working. It's moving down now. This is definitely pushing. So I would want to see, I'm going to be mindful of the dollar pairs clearing the CPI lows here. CAD's dropping. Even obviously the yen's going down a little bit. Pound's starting to work its way down. So a lot of these are starting to navigate towards where CPI kicked things off. And remember, oftentimes when news hits, people want to follow the news. So they'll place their stops below the news event. So they'll use that as stop losses. Sadly, the asset that we chose is the one that's refusing to drop with the same level of aggression as everything else, which kind of sucks. So let's see. I mean, it is starting to go down. I mean, I'm up, let's say, like maybe like $1,000 or something across the accounts. But RR wise, I mean, a very, very small amount. So, which is what matters more anyways. So if everything else is dropping faster, I'm going to be a bit more aggressive on how I manage my stop loss with this trade too. Yeah. Unless, the yen just starts to go crazy, but you can tell like it's just not moving at the same level of aggression. So if I end up taking the asset that's, if they're all bears, right? If everything is dropping, but you have the slowest bear of the pack, you don't want to get, you don't want to get caught up with what's the most vulnerable. Like you don't want to run with the slowest bear. You want to run with the fastest bear. Otherwise, you're going to, you're not going to make it. Now, kind of a bad example because very few things in the planet can take out bears. You know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Wow. The yen is the one that just is not doing shit right now. That's lame. Based on how this is moving, honestly, I'm pretty surprised. Because we're the slowest to go up, but also, I guess, nothing else wanted to happen. 5 minutes out from New York Open, we have very, very slow movement from indices. And I think what this is doing, when we start to get like a cool down, this is meant to entice positions. So look at how we're just sitting in the same spot. This is it's just a doji basically. The market's just sitting there. People are buying, people are selling. It's not really giving, into any which way direction. So I wouldn't be surprised if New York Open comes with a movement into both directions. A quick move down then up. Wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. All right, yen. Wakey, wakey. Come on. Come on, buddy. You want to melt your face off. Anybody practice hypnosis here? The bear is hibernating. I took a euro sell before it made a second high. Wake me up by a pip and tanking now. Okay. So with your euro short, if you're going to short, typically, let it clear New York highs and then, take your position. The bear is hibernating. What we need to do is we need to incentivize the bear. We need to dangle some fresh fish in front of it or something. All right, let me slam this water. What's good? What up, everyone? I see we're getting together now. New York Open. Everyone's like, oh, shit. Let me show up here. Found the time I showed up to work. I robbed myself with the euro buy with CPI. I really did it to myself. All right, 2 minutes. What haven't we looked at? We haven't looked at oil. Oil's getting no love right now. Wow, that silver sell. What a move. All right, so oil right now, it's been choppy. And it's starting to break out over here. We have imbalances down here. Consolidation from yesterday, just kind of within this big range. Can't say I really want to take anything here. So, cool. We'll move on. ETH with the zone. So I know some of you were waiting for ETH buys. It came into this yesterday. Hopefully you decided to take that, or which was what I did, was instead of taking ETH buys, I actually got into Bitcoin because it was dropping less aggressively, and then now it's starting to fill the imbalance, etc. Not looking to do anything else. Stop some profit there. All right, New York Open in 45 seconds. Will that do anything to the yen? I don't know. Probably not. Yen might just hibernate for the rest of time. Okay, take a look. NQ still pushing higher up into this range. I'm not looking for shorts. I think we'll break up into this area, and then that might set up Dow here. So let's see what New York Open looks like. All right, Dow pushing higher, NQ going lower. Okay, so there's Dow. Dow is starting to rip up to that level. And NQ chilling. Big chilling. Huh, the plot thickens. The plot thickens, my friends. If Dow gets up to here, because right now Dow picked up a lot of steam, am I going to short it? Or are we better off waiting for NQ to get closer to this range? They're all moving to the upside. I think this order block is not going to hold, so I think it's going to break this, trade into this imbalance. If this trades into the imbalance, obviously it can become efficient and then work its way down. Dow has a lot more momentum than NQ right now. So honestly, they could both mitigate together. So where we're at now, this would be closing the New York high, whereas where NQ is right now, this would be playing out of the order block. So if this is going to short out of here, which it could, you see, look at how deep of a retracement we're at with 886 here. And then meanwhile, Dow is trading into the zone. Although it moved very quickly up to here, it's still retracing. It's still, how do I say this? Like, it got here slower. So I think I would want to trade Dow shorts out of here, just because it retraced into the zone faster or slow. It came up here faster, but the retracement was, it took its time to get there. So NQ is, I guess, more retraced at this point. So I'm going to go half hour with something like this. If it comes back up to this area, I'm cool with it. I'll take the position. Or you know what? I'll do a market order here. Let's see. I need it to poke back in here. Let's see. This one might just drop without me at this point. The good news is the yen is starting to do something. All right, look at that. Nice little mitigation. So let's see. Let's confirm when this would no longer be valid. Would have to drop 120 points. There it goes. Just about there. All right. So decent drops on Dow so far. Mellow drop on NQ. Cool. NASDAQ actually holding this structure pretty well. So let's say that we were considering to short NQ out of this order block over here, which kind of already did its thing. Whatever. I'm not going to take anything. I don't think I'm going to have a good opportunity. Too much Strange. It's honestly really strange, or I have to think about it so much. It's usually very straightforward. The system is very black and white, but they're moving. Price action is just not like right now price action, but how they're moving to compare to one another is just weird. Like we're trading within the order block at the same time. So this is where they have that 9 a.m., 30 minutes after the open, and then the drop. Here's the same thing, closing out that 9 a.m. central big push up. So this hasn't quite mitigated that yet, but it looks like it's going to. This looks like a lot of liquidity, so I still wouldn't be shocked if this goes higher. Dow, despite a big drop here, hasn't fully actually made the complete sell-off yet. The yen still in hibernation. All right, there goes the drop. So, more of the story, I contemplated too much. I thought about this too much. Which one to sell, which one's valid, blah, blah, blah. And for that reason, I'm left doing nothing. Making nothing. Which is, I guess, is better than making an impulsive decision. So if we were to rate it, not the worst thing to do, but definitely not the best thing to do. So Dow has officially like made its move. It mitigated, did all that jazz. Cool. So I wouldn't look for this anymore. I wouldn't take another setup here. I still had another idea from the other day up here. So that could still be a possibility. And then NQ also, I would say this is now like it's done its thing, right? This has rejected the orders, the bullish move here. So we've seen the reversal with NASDAQ. We've seen the reversal with Dow. If it holds up, great. If it doesn't, great. The other idea that I have here is to short NQ from up here. We have an imbalance. There's motive for a market to go higher and then for us to see a short up in this range. So now I'm not looking to force anything here with indices. We would need a brand new setup. If we're going to get a short within this range, it would just have to be a completely new idea. And right now, I don't necessarily have that yet. So we'll kind of see. NQ is starting to break below that New York Open, starting to trade a little bit lower. Let's see what happens. But NQ, yeah, with more bearish pressure. If we end up, let's say, breaking below and we get something like this, then I could be down for a short. But let's see. Let's wait it out. Anyone else here make a decision and not go back and forth? And you're reaping the rewards here. Strange. I feel odd. I genuinely feel odd that I didn't just commit to something and it was a quick decision. What's up, Marty? Hope everything went well. 90 points is usually my TP on YM. What would you say could be TP2? I don't really do TP1 and 2 like that because I feel like you then have a false belief on what your risk reward is. I don't understand the TP1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 74. Like, what are you actually getting? And when you're cutting contracts or you're closing partials so much. But if I was going to short, so that's just my perspective with just being aware of what your actual risk reward is. And then your question was like, where would I take it? Breaking below this, if it cracks this low here, that would be a good area to take some profits if you wanted to. If you're feeling real crazy, then you have liquidity over here. From 295, nice. So if you're in a Dow sell as well, I will add, it's dropping a little bit. It's dropping less aggressively than the other indices. So you're in the slower bear. And then now, for example, NQ just took out this, is trading into this imbalance. And then we have this starting to slow down. So like literally where it's at right now, if you didn't, because this has dropped what now, 150 points. If you wanted to take some profits where you're at now, not a bad idea. And then I think that's the yen alert for the original entry. Yes, it is. Okay. So now we're active in the second entry with the yen. Meanwhile, it's not looking great, guys. It's over. It's all over for us. We're going to lose. So the reason I say it's not looking great for the short, the shakeout that we're looking for with the yen, is because this is flying up for some reason, while the rest of the majors are holding it down pretty well. They're not really super bullish. So now we're caught up in what's actually the most bullish is what it looks like for now. Maybe things turn around, but that would be more hopeful than just real. So we'll see. Everything may decide to just break below and do its thing. We shall see. NQ right now, it looks like it's in process of, it's trading into the CPI move. So this is where everything starts to pick up. So I think if you wanted to hold Dow a bit longer, when NASDAQ clears the CPI open, I think that's a good, you might be able to ride this all the way to here. Here's a little order block that it looks like already rejected from anyway, so I feel like the next stop would be right over there. Silver alert. What's this alert? Wow. Look at the, how many times am I going to say this today? Look at this trade that I missed out on. I think we missed out on, like, I'm not even going to do the numbers. I don't want to think about it. I guess I'm just going to have to drink it away, guys. Early shots of espresso. Okay. So silver getting a liquidity sweep. New York close. Excellent. Gold working its way all the way down, trading into here. So clearly gold is holding a better structure than silver. Silver way more bearish, so bleeding out. Could go and fill imbalances way down here. Meanwhile, gold is trading back over here. Now, this idea for gold buys, I liked. To me, it looked like we mitigated out of this level over here. Could we still hold structure over here and play out of this low? I think it's possible, because I think we mitigated this price action, not the big sell-off. So that's just my thoughts here right now. Looking at the market, silver right now is starting to fill imbalance, and it's now tapping into where we have some structure over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a reversal with gold here pretty soon. Would not be surprised if that's the case. Like right around here. So the question is it worth taking a position or not? Because silver has a lot of imbalance. It could continue to work down and fill. Very much possible. However, again, structure and imbalance, these tend to be a recipe for reversals. So I could see it. And then this trade playing out here is very much dependent on whether the move here, this massive move, was mitigating this price action, or if it was closing out this big move here. So obviously, a couple key things to consider. With the amount of imbalance that silver still has to fill, I don't know if I really want to make this decision. One of the things that we could do would just be a very light risk trade. But yeah, so this would have triggered me in just now. This was the original idea. A lot of support, a lot of last point of supply over here. It really comes down to whether I think the structure is going to hold for silver or not. Because this is a liquidity capture, and then could this just reverse? You know what? And we also have to think, are emotions lingering here? Am I looking to take a position just because I missed a few, or etc.? So does this give me a green light for a full R trade? I'm getting thrown off because of this. Because of silver's imbalance and because of this massive reversal. So this is kind of throwing off my perspective with this. So instead of trading a typical, like a full R trade, is this worth taking with less? Let's see. I'm going to stay out. I'm going to stay out because there is more liquidity down here. There's imbalance over here. I think I'm going to stay out. If I have to go back and forth on this, then typically that's not a good sign. So I do, intuitively, it was a yes. Mechanically, this kind of threw off everything that I was looking at, and it looks like I should listen to my intuition. I'm ready to break something. Jesus. Let's count. How many times can Mike say no to profits and only trade the one that does absolutely nothing? What do we think, chat? Despite my composure right now, I'm really annoyed. All right, so right now this would be sitting at almost a 2R already. Okay. Sick, bro. Let's look at this from a reversal standpoint. So the market dropped 140, and then right now it's moved up about 100. So it does need a little bit more to fully make the reversal. Let's look at how silver is playing out as well. So yeah, gold with more momentum for sure. Silver, did definitely rejecting that area. Okay. So let's see here. Do I have time to make up my mind? Watch, I'm going to get in this and then I'm going to get clapped. All right. So based on where we're at right now, taking an entry would have to change completely the idea, like just completely. And is it worth it? Where would we take this to? Well, into this imbalance at least. And honestly, I think we can go for even higher. So if you're going to target something like this and still take it from where we're at, is it worth something to take? Yes. The question is how much? So because of all this nonsense and the entry, I'm going to go half risk on this. And then, yeah, I'm just going to let this thing ride. Meanwhile, our yen trade is still pretty choppy as well, so going back and forth. And then regarding the risk reward of the mitigation here, so when I should tighten my stop and do all of that, once the market, if the market goes and hits 43.52, only then am I going to tighten up my stop. And honestly, I probably will go actually like straight to break even. So we are in this I took a very small position, and then we're just about to get to that mitigation level here. And then the good thing is gold is trading more bullish than silver, so we did trade the right asset, so that's a bonus. And then based on the movement it's giving us already, even though I risked a very small amount, I mean, it's still like overall net with everything, I mean, it's still obviously worth it. So let me do this now. I'm going to go ahead and tighten my stop to here. So now we're at a reduced risk. Worst case scenario, I think I lose $100 or something. And honestly, I'm going to let this thing rip. I'm going to let this thing go. You go. Nance would say, you go, Glen Coco. And then we're going to target New York highs. We've been squeezing a lot. We're moving sideways a lot. So now that we've seen a liquidity capture with silver specifically, I want to see, now this kind of rebalances this. If this decides to go crazy and rip to the upside, I do think this could take gold substantially high. So for now, if you didn't hesitate and you just took the position, then you have a much better trade, significantly better trade. I think my stop was quite a bit bigger, and I also entered with less risk. All right, so this is mitigated. From my entry, we're up a little under 100 points, so like 90, give or take. This, and then, I'm going to take this to clear out New York highs, or two New York highs, which would be a 4.7. Actually, let me do that there. About a 4.3 R if it gets all the way up there. And then based on the way the market's moving right now, should the stop go to here, should we keep the stop the same? Just keep it reduced? What do we think, guys? Okay, so let me look at the 15-second. How efficient is price action? We go up, we move down, we rebalance, play out of the structure, and then we continue. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to tighten up again. Worst case, I lose, I think, I don't know, $20 or something. Okay, so that's that. Checking in with the yen. Remember our original entry here, this was triggered in, and then so that put us at half of that averaged us in right over here. So now we're in a little bit of drawdown here. Gold is still ripping, very nice. Anyone in gold? Hey Mike, still 53. Perspective goes a long way, right? And actually, this is gonna sound like such a brag. We're like around 70, so it's gonna be It is a great month, regardless. Even if it's a negative month, it's a great month. But what it was for my personal frustrations was just decision making. It really wasn't about missing the trade. It's like, why is there extra contemplation with the setups? And then I'm like, all right, like, what is it about the market that's not as fluid and as clear as I would want it to be, and or is it that I'm like overthinking something, which is very, very rare. But obviously, I'm a human being, and the reality is that both these scenarios, the indices scenario and the metal scenario, they had like elements to price action that didn't make the setups like super, super easy. And so what's interesting is that, and this it's funny because I uploaded a couple videos to the syndicate course yesterday, and one of them is literally called Precision Under Pressure. And in that lesson, I talk about how you need to have a system, you need to have structure, but if you don't have flexibility or adaptability, then you're just rigid. And when you're rigid, you're not going to be able to adapt. So you need to understand market conditions on top of your foundation and your system. When you understand that and you adapt to the conditions themselves, and it's not that you're just breaking your rules, it's that you have to be able to adapt to those rules. So so that's what it came down to with today. So that was like in my ear. I'm like, all right, adapt to the conditions and let's see what the market's showing us and run the play. So that's what we had today. Didn't make the decision fast enough with indices, but at least we got something here with gold. So for example, with the yen, we're up still a very minimal amount. And then with gold, we're starting to pick up some momentum. Gold, we're actually up about, how under leveraged am I here? I swear. Damn, I really went under leveraged on this one. Is Lulu bumping or what? Ready to break something. You're a G. Thanks, man. The gold phone tweaked, risking even more. Today's a crash out day. No. Let's not do that. No crash outs, please. Avoid crash outs at all costs. Hey, the yen's moving. Yay. Okay, let me go through the chat. Lulu. Okay. Weeble, Slow, Lucid, coming back to life. Our little D-gen play there. Starbucks, Etsy, Tesla. All right, the markets are responding. ENPH, nice. Solar. Let's get this thing out of here, man. I need this thing to rip so I can get out of it. Oh, baby. The DCA's on Lulu. 36%. Let's go. Sometimes I like my inner football player like just wants to leak out and just go crazy. All right. Okay, gold ripping, yen, doing a little bit of its thing. All right, let's see here. Gold positions are active. Yen. I'm just double checking with all these damn accounts. I need to, make sure things are running smooth over here. Gold, yen. Okay. Great. And then Top Step hits like praying, like, does this thing work today? Are you functional? Yeah, for real. All right, so we're in there. Oh, I didn't get the... Huh. Okay. Cool. So right now we're looking at about 160 points in profit. Severely underleveraged. Grossly underleveraged. But, hey, something's better than nothing. Yeah, this Lulu run's lit. Okay, cool. Lulu, I am open to holding up until, yeah, right around here. About 316. And then averaged in, I think I'm a little above 165. So running it over to here would put us just under, right about 90% growth if it does happen to get to here. Yeah, sweet. Lulu's doing well, and then we have a couple other. Crypto has just been, alts have been a bloodbath. Nothing's changed there for me, but it's definitely unfortunate. It's just a matter of time, really. Okay, so let's look at the yen. Let's take a look at the majors. Let's look at everything here. The yen finally just, I guess, figured its shit out. And the big thing I want to see first is I wanted to clear. Here's where the retail buyers started to build up, right? The break retest. So right now we're starting to see quite the movement to the downside. And what's happening? Why are there so many alerts right now? Silver alert going off. Okay. All right, perfect. So silver now has moved back into where we had Tokyo lows. So this is where we have some structure and imbalance. Sometimes this is where you'll see reversals, maybe short-term reversals. Would love for that not to happen over here, but it, always could. And what that means is this is where I'm going to tighten up on gold as well. Let's go to gold. Let's make sure that we can, make some adjustments here. Regarding stops on gold, if you notice now, like later on, we might have a trade that sets up like this. So here's where you started to see one more sell-off before everything reversed. I could see the market come back to here. With the way everything's moving, I'm going to move my stops at least into profit right over here. For gold, no reason to take a loss on gold anymore after we've seen such a big move. So we can keep that how it is. And then now we're seeing where we saw like post CPI. I think that we can clear. And then with the liquidity in New York highs here, this is the target for me. And successfully, we're up about 200 points on gold. Let's see. With you, I'm reading the chat. I'd be at 4R right now if that didn't happen. Now I'm barely at 1R. Hey, me too, man. Took OG gold buy. Sick. We're going. Se me fue el interrogante. Oh, Nance here translating my frustration in Spanish. That's funny. Like taking the sell from where we were at didn't make sense. Okay, cool. I'd like to talk about today on Sunday. Okay. Top froze again for a bit. Really? What is the mindset with 4380 TP? How to manage? How to manage? The mindset behind this is that we have one, because we were squeezing so much money was in here for buyers, retail buyers, and for retail sellers. My logic is that we can crack through these highs and liquidate all of these sellers. And there's a lot of them. Honestly, this probably goes even higher and trades towards the zone we have up here, which is like 4,400. Because there's just so much liquidity here. It's an absurd amount. Absolutely absurd. Like sellers and sellers and sellers and sellers and sellers and sellers. So there's enough stops over here that could afford positions up here. Okay. Let's see. How close am I to the max for the day? So since I'm on my past my first payout with Tradetopia, the consistency rule goes up, which is good. Like, you can make more, but the target also goes down. So it gets easier to pass, and you can make more for that. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot easier to hit the max on the day for the Tradetopia accounts. And it's kind of nice because, like, it'll close me out before I normally would with a lot of these ideas, and sometimes that works out in our favor. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it works out in which maybe I wouldn't have gotten out that quickly, but because I have to, it just secures like profits in a different way. It's like a diversified profit taking. It's kind of cool, at least in, the way my nerdy brain works. All right. Awesome. So hopefully, Taylor, you maybe took some of my perspective with the market playing out of this order block and taking some profit at this point. I know you were in Dow and you were asking, hey, where do you think I should take this to? So, hopefully you took something here. And then now, regarding indices again, if we end up trading that later, I think the NQ sell from yesterday's New York high yesterday, this could play out, I think. Pound. What is that alert on the pound? Okay. So now regarding the dollar pairs, right? We have break below the CPI open with the pound. The yen is nowhere near that yet. CAD is not near that yet. Euro is not near that yet. NZD is definitely nowhere near that, and Australian is not either. So if the pound is the only asset that has broken below that CPI low, the open, I feel like there's a good chance that the rest of the market is going to want to push lower too. All right, gold, 250 points in our favor, a little under. Stops in profit about 40. At this point, how much are you willing to give back if it does turn around? Like, and this is what I like to think about is how much of a risk, how much am I willing to give back in order for the market to go hit my ultimate target? So if this were to reverse all the way down, how much, what's worth it structure wise? And then money, like what would it be worth giving, 2R back or whatever to make an extra one? That doesn't really seem to make too much sense, right? So at this point now we're starting to see, right, we've, had the collapse on gold from over here right after New York Open, dropped. The market then quickly comes back up to rebalance this entire move. And now it's starting to chop up and down over here in this range. It's like a 30, 40 pip range. Do we want to let this give us a good chance of a deep retracement, or are you better off just having your stops following structure, let's say like trading up to, I don't know, like over here or something. And then if it does take you out, okay, you can approach this with a different, like as a different setup. So what are you willing to see? So I'm going to tighten this up a little bit more. We've seen pretty healthy price action. If the market stays chopping up here and then we get that drop down, then I will just take an entirely new setup instead. I think I'd just prefer doing that over, giving it all back. This way it's like, okay, you can take something home. And then if it does come back to an entry, okay, you just have a completely different setup that you can approach it with. Yes, you're reintroducing risk, but at least you have a fresh idea. Also, one thing that's pretty cool, using the trade copier. So I'm using TradeSyncer. You can, if you have like different accounts in which you want to have a higher risk or a lower risk, you can choose like to 2x your position on specific accounts or go with less, which I think is pretty dope. So, for example, like on one of my Top Step accounts, if I enter 2 contracts here, it's going to enter 4 contracts over there. All right. So while we're watching the market unfold over here, I want to let you guys know about a couple of things here. Obviously, we have Christmas here coming up, and some of you were asking about a couple of things, so going to give you guys an update here regarding the store, right? So obviously, you guys can see we're rocking the Tradetopia merch. This hoodie, my favorite hoodie. I would say if there wasn't a brand on here, it would still be my favorite hoodie, but I mean, Tradetopia obviously adds more of an effect there. But if you wanted to know what would still make it to as a gift or for yourself, what would make it to you in time for Christmas, these are the things that would make it to you. So actually, I'll just show you guys, just so you guys can kind of see what we got. So the fitted tee here, this took so many samples to get the right one. This one would get to you on time. The staple hoodie, so this is the classic. This is the one I'm wearing right now. You guys have seen me wear the black one, and then this is like the mushroom colored one right there. That one would get to you in time. The corduroy hat, so the Dow Daddy hat, that one would get to you in time. If you guys haven't seen it, where's the Dow Daddy hat? Oh, and accessories. That makes sense. Yeah, the Dow Daddy hat would get to you in time. The keychain would get to you in time. The Breaking the Habit of Breaking Your Plan workbook would get to you in time. The beanie would get to you in time, which is cozy. And then the Memento Mori shirt, so only 2 other shirts would get to you in time. This shirt, this is kind of like a nice little oversized fit. It's good. I like this one. You guys have seen a few pictures of it. If you want to see it on my IG, I've rocked it a couple times. And then the Trade for Freedom shirt, which we're running out of soon. This one's actually running really low. And then the Discipline shirt already sold out completely, every size. Maybe except for smalls. And then the last thing is a gift card. So if you want to give a gift card to a trader, let's say you know a trader, you want to give him a gift card, well, here you go. There it is for you. Want to let you guys know so you guys are in the loop if you wanted to do some Christmas shopping for yourself or for a fellow trader. Okay. Now you know. All right. So gold here, imbalance fill, comes back up. Let's see if this is still going to continue to rally or if we're going to end up getting possibly a secondary setup here. So take a look at this. This is why I'm cool with giving up some of these profits if it does come back down, because now we've seen a massive crash, liquidation, plays out of this last point of supply. The market pulls up, and then now we are establishing structure here. So this is starting to look like a shakeout setup where we rebalance for the most part. The market may create some demand, and then if it drops, then we're trading this would lure in more sellers, and then we can take the buy position to then eat those all back up. So that's my take on what would be a second setup on gold if it does want to play out this way. So the idea would be basically another buy in this range. And then you guys have seen we have an order block here, some support here. So I think I'd take the position like right here. I'll just delete this for now. So if this is going to happen, then I'd look for a setup like right over in here. And then same. Here we go. TP stays the same. That's if we get that. Otherwise, if we take out the highs first, then, I mean, it's going to be a pretty similar setup anyways. Meanwhile, the yen has cooled down a little bit, so it started to just kind of get a little choppy here. Most of the dollar pairs are just consolidating for the most part. So when you get a squeeze like this, typically it's either very good or very shit. So that's what we got. That's what we got, folks. Did I see your message about you being over leveraged? No, but did you like reduce? Am I going to stack on gold? I think I'd prefer to just take some profit, and then if we get a deeper entry, I'll just take an entirely new setup. Just exited gold for a 3R. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, take your profits, guys. If you want it, take it. Tradetopia versus Top Step X, which is better? Any feedback? So Top Step X, the Project X platform has been pretty trash lately. So trading on Tradetopia is definitely is a much better experience. Regarding the prop firm itself right now, yeah, I'm definitely liking Tradetopia better because it's not freezing and it's functioning. Stop on gold is tight. Are you trailing your stop loss? Yes. Or take 50% out and let the rest run to your full TP. I don't take partials. What's a beanie? It's a hat that's warm and fuzzy. It's not really fuzzy. It's on the store. You can look at it. If you click it here, you can literally see it. And now you understand what a beanie is. Look at that. It's beautiful. Wow. Wow. All right. Let's see. So Euro just went off, which means that now Euro took out the CPI low. A knitted hat for winter. The trading journal on Tradetopia. Yeah, it's over there. If I could show it. There's a whole video where I break it down on my YouTube. Yeah. All right. So, videos. Took profit on gold. Solid. How do you take partials on futures? So let's say if you have two contracts, just close one contract in the opposite order. So you know how we're in buys right now? I have two buys open, two contracts on buys. If I wanted to take partials, I'd sell one contract. So you just click one and then you hit sell and then would close the buy. Yeah, there's a full video so you can check it out. It's a tutorial. It's like probably 3 years old. I think I have, I think it's called like Trading Journal Tutorial or something. I think I weigh like 50 pounds more in that video. I was down bad. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can kind of show you what it looks like though. Here, let me pull it up. So for example, let's see here. Let's see. All right, so let me see. I had to switch the screen share thing here. Oh, you know what? I can do it this way. Here we go. I have to change the screen that I'm sharing. Screen capture properties. Notion. Is this it? All right. Yeah. There you go. So this is kind of what it looks like. At least this is the actual journey. There's a couple things built into this, but this is one of them. So you'd have like where you have the asset, the date, what it is, what kind of setup, what direction, the quality of your trade, your pre-trading, the before link, the after, your reflection, the risk reward, the results, trading plan, whether it's discipline or not, how much, and a whole bunch of things here. It's broken down month by month, quarter by quarter. You then have reviews, etc., that you can do week by week, quarterly, monthly. Then you have an area for back testing, an area for your signature setups, and you can just kind of build up a whole bunch of data on what works best for you. To get a full breakdown, and so I'm not taking too much more of your guys' time here, definitely go take a look at the video. I think Nance dropped a link to it. Yeah, I'm in Chicago. What happened to your cap? Did you order a hat? Depending on which one you ordered, it was a separate shipping. Yeah. All right, so look at gold right now, right? Gold is creating solid structure. It's starting to work its way back. Chances are it's going to hit the sell stop here, and then we'll just secure whatever we secure. And then I'm just going to take another position here with the full R as a shakeout idea. And then yen here working its way further and further down. Beautiful. All right, well, now we're starting to get some traction going over here. Here we go. With the movement that we're seeing so far with the yen, I'm going to reduce my stops here. So I'm going to tighten up over here. Actually, I need to change this. All right, perfect. Yes. All right, we're set. So now stops are reduced just because of the momentum that we're seeing here. And let's see, gold, I'm still hanging on. Oh, okay. Maybe this works. Maybe this survives. But that's kind of the beauty of just trading and moving your stops based on structure. If it's going to respect this last push down and then it rallies, awesome. If it doesn't, then we have a different idea right there. Man, Nance, you're in here today. Ain't no questions left undone here. Let's go. All right, so gold ripping. Does that mean the yen's going to push higher too? No, all right, it's cool. All right, back to indices, right? These are very, very choppy, back and forth. Am I looking to take anything here? No, I don't love just structure with a lot of this. This looks like it's just taking out buyers, then going back up, taking out buyers, and then going back up. It's very indecisive. So I'm not fully convinced on anything. I'm going to wait to kind of trade on the outsides of structure. Instead of trading within this little choppy mess over here, I'd prefer to just sell on the outside of it on like the extremes of the retracement. So if we're looking at the market from here now, I'd prefer to take setups over here. Gold, big reversal. Nice. So cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trail it a little more, secure a bit more if it does come back. Now that the market's rejected this and rallied. Is it scorching hot out? Yeah, no, it's for sure. It's a scorcher. 90 degrees. If you go outside, you actually start to melt. So it's dangerous out there. Good stuff. Tomorrow, guys, the session is at our typical time. So we have, 8 a.m. Central, 30 minutes before New York Open. Stream will go live. We'll be there. And then so to give a good recap on the session, we are currently, as of right now, the first trade that we took was with the yen, right? The yen idea here averages out to about here. So we've seen at the best, nothing crazy, 1R. Best case scenario so far with the yen is a 1R. And then for me, that looks like, what does that look like? Let's see, trades. Where can I pull this up? Today's the 18th. Maybe I need to refresh this. I might have to sync this guy. Just so you guys, you have the transparency. Today is not the 17th. Oh, I do need to sync this. All right, I can show you guys in a second. But we're 1R right now on the yen, and then gold. Gold was the MVP, and of course, naturally, it's the under leveraged position. Why would it not? Got here just doing his thing. We have seen at peak with gold a 5R. If it was, and that wasn't even the best entry. That was the late entry. No, the late entry, my bad. The late entry was here. If we would have taken the entry that we should have taken, it would have been, almost a 6R actually. But with the one that I actually got after further contemplation, just shy of a 3R so far. So collectively, we're sitting at around a 4R across the board. Not bad. And then let's see. Can I see what we got going on here? Where's the yen? Today is Thursday, yeah. All right, I gotta learn how to maneuver this a little bit better. There we go. So just you guys look at it this way. This times 16, and then one account is definitely trading actually bigger than this. So we're looking at roughly about 10K on yen, and then gold is looking at around just shy of that too. Nice. Sick. Stops and profit are looking good here. I like how we're playing out of this range. If it breaks below, then cool. I feel actually really good about a shakeout buy. And if it cracks through and just makes it to, cracking New York highs and trading even further, then great. Either or are totally cool with me. The yen now is approaching that the CPI open, so it's getting pretty close. And with the way that we're moving along, I'm actually going to tighten it to here now, the stop. I'm going to go break even with this at this point. No reason to lose after we're already up over a 1R. It's basically the full extension. If the market were to come back, whatever. I'm cool with that. Exit once again here is the London low, so we'll see if this rallies. What kind of momentum are we seeing? So yen is actually picking up a lot of momentum. So it's pushing really nicely. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So these are good signs. All right, let me go back to here. $4 sounds like a winner for sure. Yeah, syndicate sessions, they're going to be Saturdays, Corey, moving forward, the third one. I'll drop a post on it. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I love what I'm seeing, guys. You guys are, I love the conversation, the communication in the chat today has been awesome. Love to see it. All right, so we are getting closer and closer to 2026 now. You guys are having a lot of time to contemplate, what it is that you've done well this year. Again, if you haven't done these reflections, I recommend you do so you can realize where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses lie, what needs to adapt and grow. What I know is as long as you stay consistent and you're just honest about where you could improve in your game, and you start to build completely different expectations about what you deserve to have, and you set new standards on what and who you should be, if you're in that alignment and you keep that pretty much in focus, then you're going to have a great year. And that's the reason that we've created this syndicate. It's so that we have a culture and environment of that. Standard driven, detached from expectations regarding the outcomes. And then we're constantly drilling that, whether it's through, self-study learning through over 150 videos, or the 3 feedback sessions that I run regarding not just how to get funded and staying funded, which is cool, but like how to maintain habits that are actually serving you, how to reevaluate perspectives, perception, and how to become the person that you really need to become to do this and be consistent with it. So I do invite you to book a call to join the syndicate. It's what I would have dreamed of having had I started trading. So all I can say, I pinned the link. Click that, book it. You won't regret it. I'll say that much. I'm very, very, very confident in that. Obviously, you guys see me trade every day. So I'm coming from a place of experience, not theory. It's not theory. It's experience. And you get to see me do it all the time. Anyways. So, guys, much love. Appreciate all of you for just being on here, contributing, asking questions, the funny commentary, everything. It's always a blast in here. I always have a good time, and I'm glad that I can do this and, create an environment for everyone to learn in, even if you don't have the resources to, do a higher level hands-on mentorship. That's okay. Like, as long as there's growth here, I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose of serving community in a way that I have the most experience in. So, yeah, appreciate you guys. We'll be back live again tomorrow. And then let's see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, price action is a little bit cleaner. And another day with, I don't get indice setups. It's interesting. It's really interesting. But the yen and gold, man, they've been doing their thing. So I'm grateful that we have setups that we've mastered that you can just approach and tackle on in different asset classes. So it's cool to see. Anyways, guys, enjoy. If you're here for the first time, welcome to Tradetopia. And then if you've been hanging out with us here, then I'll see you tomorrow, because now you're in Tradetopia. Now you can't leave. Now you're in the utopia for traders. So take care, guys. I'll see you all in the community, in the school. Any conversations, any chats, any questions, drop them in there. And I'll catch you on the next one.